नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. A very good morning to you all. Myself, JVN Dr. Ravi Jain, Assistant Professor, Department of Practice of Medicine at Faculty of Homeopathic Science in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. In today's lecture of dermatology, we are going to start with acne. This is the most common problem of the teenage children, especially of the girls, and it is causing a lot of problem with them. So let's start with acne. What is acne? Acne is a disorder of the sebaceous gland. The hair follicles become plugged with oil and dead skin cells. It often causes whiteheads, blackheads, and pimples. It appears on the face, forehead, chest, upper back, and shoulders. It is most common among teenagers, though it affects people of all ages. This is how acne looks like. Now we start with acne vulgaris. Acne vulgaris is a chronic inflammatory disease of the pilosebaceous follicles. It is characterized by formation of comedones, erythematous papules and pustules, less frequently nodules and pseudocyst, and is accompanied by scarring. It is a self-limiting disorder that primarily affects the teenagers and young adults. 10 to 20% of the adults may continue to experience some form of the disorder. It is most common in teenage years, but may persist into third decade and beyond. Now, what is the cause of acne vulgaris? Etiology. Increased sebum secretion is necessary for the development of acne. Androgens and progesterone increases sebum excretion while estrogen reduces it. Propionibacterium acne colonizes the pilosebaceous ducts and acts on the lipids to produce a pro-inflammatory factors, and the pilosebaceous units becomes occluded. The small cysts called as comedones form in hair follicles due to the blockage of the follicular orifice by retention of keratinous material and sebum. Now we come to the clinical features of acne. The lesions are usually limited to the face, shoulders, upper chest and back, but may extend to the buttocks. There is seborrhea, that is greasy skin, that is often obvious. The open comedones or the blackheads due to the plugging by the keratin and sebum of the pilosebaceous orifice. The closed comedones or the whiteheads are due to the accretions of sebum and keratin deeper in the pilosebaceous duct. Combination of keratin breakdown products and bacterial products give rise to the black color seen in the blackheads. The comedones are usually accompanied by inflammatory lesions, papules, pustules, or nodules. The earliest lesions seen in adolescence are generally mildly inflamed or non-inflammatory comedones on the forehead. Subsequently, more typical inflammatory lesions develops on the cheeks, nose, and chin. The most disease remains mild and does not lead to scarring. A small number of patients develop large inflammatory cysts and nodules which may drain and result in significant scarring. Exogenous and endogenous factors can alter the expression of acne vulgaris. Friction and trauma from headbands or chin straps of the athletic helmets. Application of comedogenic topical agents, that is cosmetics or hair preparations, The chronic topical exposure to certain industrial compounds may elicit or aggravate acne. Glucocorticoids, topical or systemic, may also elicit acne. Systemic medications such as oral contraceptive pills, lithium isoniazid, androgenic steroids, halogens, phenytoin, and phenobarbital may produce acneiform eruptions or aggravate pre-existing acne. Genetic factors and polycystic ovary disease may also play a very important role. Next is, these are the variants, different other variants of acne. We have conglomerate acne that is characterized by comedones, nodules, abscesses, and sinus tracts, often accompanied by keloid scarring. Epidermoid cysts are common later in the acne. Next, we have acne fulminans. It is the extensive inflammatory lesions, especially on the trunk, and it is accompanied by fever, joint pain, and markers of systemic inflammation, such as raised ESR. Acne excoriae refers to the effect of scratching or picking, principally on the face of teenage girls with acne. Now we come to the management. The management is directed towards the elimination of comedones by normalizing follicular keratinization, decreasing sebaceous gland activity, and decreasing the population of Propionibacterium acnes, and decreasing inflammation. Topical agents such as retinoic acid, benzoyl peroxide, or salicylic acid may alter the pattern of epidermal desquamation, preventing the formation of comedones and aiding in resolution of pre-existing cysts. Topical antibacterial agents such as azelaic acid, erythromycin, clindamycin or dapsone are also useful. Next we come to acne rosacea. It is persistent facial eruption of unknown cause, an inflammatory disorder predominantly affecting the central face. Persons most often affected are Caucasians of the North European background, but also occurs in patients with dark skin. The sebum secretion is normal and common in the middle-aged, less than 30 years of age, and more common in women, but those most severely affected are men. It affects the cheeks, chin, and central forehead. It is characterized by the presence of erythema, telangiectasia, and dome-shaped papules and pustules. Comedones are absent. It rarely involves the chest, back. Rosacea initially demonstrate a pronounced flushing reaction in response to heat, emotional stimuli, alcohol, hot drinks, or spicy food. The flush persists longer and longer and may become permanent. Very long-standing rosacea lead to connective tissue overgrowth of the nose that is known as rhinophyma. It is complicated by various inflammatory disorders of the eye, keratitis, blepharitis, iritis, and recurrent chalazion. Now we come to the differential diagnosis. The differential diagnosis consists of acne vulgaris, seborrheic eczema, photosensitivity, and systemic lupus erythematosus. Next, we come to the management of acne rosacea. Treatment topically or systematically. Mild disease responds to topical metronidazole, sodium sulfacetamide, or azelaic acid. Severe disease requires oral tetracyclines, doxycycline, or minocycline. The residual telangiectasia may respond to the laser therapy. Topical glucocorticoids should be avoided because of chronic use of these preparation elicit rosacea. Next, we come to the homeopathic management. Acne from homeopathic point of view can be caused by various causative factors, which includes menstruation, pregnancy, food habits and allergies, high season food, emotional stress. Some of the homeopathic medicines include Antimcrude, Ars Brom, Asterias lubens, Bellus perennis, Barbaris aquifolium, Bovista, Carbo vegetabilis, Calibrom, Lapacticum, Arnica, Belladonna, Hippocel, Moxol, Miserium, Sepia, Salacia, and Sulfur. So this was all about acne. In the next lecture, we will be discussing about scabies. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention it in the comment box and I'll try to resolve it. This was all for today. Thank you very much. We will be meeting in the next lecture tomorrow.